Well, it's Friday, the 16th, February 2024, and it's time for the ring. And, well, it's a beautiful day. It's a very important day for me, especially February 16th, very important for me individually. But I want to welcome to Desert Radio as I bring you yet another edition of the ring in which we discuss topical sport issues with football administrators, athletes, coaches, and sports critics. Now, in the discussion today, I am pleased to welcome in the studio the Namibia Paralympic Committee Secretary Mr. Michael Hamukwaya, and of course on the line from Rietfontein, I'm joined by the National Paralympic or Para-Athletes coach, Mr. Coach Letu Hamhola from Rietfontein, Oshodojupa region. Good afternoon, gentlemen, and welcome to the ring.
Thank you very much, John. And
good afternoon,
good afternoon to the listener out there.
All right, Mikey, we are joined by your coach on the line. Mr. Hamukwaya is on the line talking to us all the way from Rietfontein. Did you could just say hi to him?
Good afternoon, Coach Letu. How are you today?
No, I'm blessed.
Strong that side.
Well. Tomorrow is going to be an interesting day in Rietfontein as the Pupkewitz Foundation Athletic Namibia Grand Prix third leg will take place in Rietfontein. But let's take a brief look at our Paralympic, and that is Namibia's Paralympic athletes. The international attainment of Namibia's Paralympic athletes. Namibia made its Paralympic Games debut at the 1992 Summer Games in Barcelona. For its inaugural participation, the country sent two athletes, both women, who both competed in discus, javelin, and shot put. They did not win any medal, however, but Namibia was then absent from the Paralympics until 2004, when it entered a single representative in the men's powerlifting. Namibia returned in 2008 with a single competitor, Reginald Benade, in the men's discus and shot put. Benade won Namibia's first Paralympic medal, a bronze in the discus. Now, Namibia achieved its first Paralympic gold medal in the 2012 London Summer Paralympics. Joanna Benson, at the time Namibia's only female athlete, won the 200-meter race in her division. And then Namibia competed in the 2016 Rio de Janeiro Paralympics, earning 2 silver and 2 gold medals in athletics category. Namibia has never, obviously, taken part in the Winter Olympics, Winter Paralympics, yes. Now, today we look at whether Namibia's Paralympic competitiveness internationally is in decline. Looking at the glory days, we are now in 2024, but the secretary is here to talk to us. The coach is there, he certainly will be part of the conversation. Now, Mr. Hamukwaya, talk to us about the programs the NPC undertook to secure successful qualification of athletes at the coming Summer Games. Very key, 2024, very key, and obviously I've looked at the 10 top listed para-athletes since the first Grand Prix in Swakopmund and the one that was just held last weekend, and we're going to take part. We're not sure whether they're going to take part. All of them are going to take part in the one they need for day or not, but we'll come to that. But the program, 2024.
No, thank you very much, Brother John. Definitely, when athletes are qualifying for the Olympic or Paralympic Games, it's important that people or anybody knows that this is actually a 4-year cycle before any athlete can qualify to these events. So the qualification of this event have started already in 2023. Beginning of 2023. So it means it's always almost 2 years journey for an athlete to qualify. So as we are talking now, we are already in 2024. And we are just at the last or the last part or the last journey towards that final part of achieving those slots. So 2025 of May definitely will be the last opportunity for any athlete to qualify in the world for the Paralympic Games. We are very, very fortunate already that Namibia already have secured at least 3 slots already from the past World Championship in France, which were achieved through 3 of our top athletes, that is Anania Shikongo, Johannes Nambala, and Lahia. And unfortunately, what happened is that when you get those slots, you qualify them for the country. Then the country, at the end of qualification, will decide to give out which are the athletes who are taking those slots, depending now on the performance. So these few events that are left, the few events, especially the Rietfontein or Shakati, they are very, very important for all, especially from athletic side, to make sure that at least, because those events are still within the qualifying time. So if our athletes, but then unfortunately, when we are doing the qualification in Paralympic sport, it's also a long journey. First of all, you as an athlete, you need to be classified for you to be in the pathway. And as I said, the pathway started 2 years ago. And classified is not only national classification, you need international classification. Then after that, you need to make sure that you also participate in the mandatory events that IPC set apart, which are the Grand Prix and the World Championship. So with all that now, you can see those mandatory events, there are like 11 of them in the world, and only 2 in Africa, where we have 1 in Marrakesh and 1 in Tunisia. The rest are just outside Africa. So you can imagine the expenses or the planning that have to go in that. And apart for that is now the World Championship. But at the World Championship, an athlete have to qualify. They have to reach that maximum requirement that is needed for their different category. So all that step, it takes time. You cannot just say today I'm a new para athlete, I'm coming in and I'm going to qualify for the game. I'm very sorry, it's a bit too late. But those who are in the system, those who went to, because we had also some other athletes who went to the World Championship before, and they did quite good, not that bad. They didn't win medals, but they did quite good. So they just need to be given more opportunity, so that at least this time we were so very fortunate, because just before the closing of the championship, there is one more World Championship for para-athletic, which will be happening in Kobe in Japan. And
when is that?
That will be now in May, but earlier there. But at least it gives us enough time. It gives opportunity for this athlete who didn't make it last time. But as I say, it also comes with its own challenges. I mean, that is very close. It's just now in 2 months. So again, preparation is needed for this athlete. So that is how we are standing at the moment. And then not only that, we are focusing on one sport code. We have other codes also that are preparing at the moment that are standing a good chance of maybe also of qualifying. But they also started their pathway sometimes long before now. And that is now triathlon. We might have a gentleman, if everything goes according to our pathway, qualifying for the games. Then we have also archery. Archery, which is also standing a very good chance. They will be leaving now somewhere now in February, so that they can just go and see if they can get those spots for the country. So we are holding our hands, and we are hoping, at least, because as we seen John at the last Olympic, we also only had one sport code, which was athletic. So we are hoping at least for the Paris 2024, we can go on and have at least even back to our glory where we had before. We had swimming and powerlifting, but then they went all lying down and, becoming weaker. They are no more part of our Paralympic program. So this time, if we can have at least those 2 other sport code, it will just, it will boost a bit on the NPC, and that can just help us to continue where we left, and at least just build another building block for the future generation.
Now, Coach Letu, we've seen the inclusion of our local para athletes into the Grand Prix, and 2 parts. They started competing in the first Grand Prix 27 January, held in Swakopmund. They also took part in the second leg that was held last weekend, Saturday, at the Independence Stadium. They are now gearing up for the one scheduled for Rietfontein. And I see the top-rated athletes that have done very well. The likes of Chris Kinder, the likes of Lahia Ishitile, Johannes Nabala, Johanna Benson, and you have Bradley Murere, and you as Lahya Ipinge, and it goes on. Kasange Petrus. Talk to us about the competitiveness of these athletes in these Grand Prix, and how lucky they are, to be included in this Grand Prix. Looking forward to the World Championship that is scheduled now for May. I think you said May, and the possibility of these athletes qualifying for the Paralympics.
All right. I hope I'm loud and clear.
Very, very.
All right. First, from the onset, thank you for the opportunity that we can discuss one of Namibia's most successful codes and organizations in it. And from the onset, I also just want to, I don't know whether to correct that they are not lucky to be included, because they are a Namibian as all the other Namibian athletes that are here.
Very true.
They pay, they are bona fide members of clubs, they are club members of regions, so which means that they, as inscribed in any constitution and in the constitution of the Republic of Namibia, while we mourning our president that played a key role, was to have an opportunity for all. So they are not lucky. They should be part. If they are not part of it, then we have another discussion about that. But however, as indicated by the Secretary General, the road started a long time ago. All the athletes that are currently part of the pathway went to the World Championships last year, and we showed our mantle at the World Championships, and the results spoke for themselves, because having had 7 people competing in finals and coming back with 3 medals, we can just work on improving. So, which means that in terms of para, as you indicated with the history that you just told the listeners in the beginning, you will see that since 2008, with the in the footsteps of Reginald Bernarde, para has only been going strength to strength, and it's also good, and it also needs to be applauded. You talked about Pupkewitz, that Pupkewitz rewarded everyone that was competing in their Grand Prix, and we should take our heads off for that gesture in the categories that they competed. So Namibian athletics can just go from strength to strength under the guidance of Athletics Namibia. So in terms of preparations, we are in full swing. The Grand Prix are important. Many of them will compete again tomorrow. Of course, apart from the 3 slots, we don't only want 3 slots. We want to see more athletes competing at the Paralympic Games, and not only, and as I'm saying competing, I'm reiterating, not participating but competing. So if the dress rehearsal for last year put 6 athletes into semifinals and 7 into finals, and we received 3 medals, we with the right preparation, we can only see an improvement on that. So we are adamant. We had the para coaches met last week in order for us to discuss the journey and the preparation program, of which all of us are key, because everybody plays a role, whether it's the medical, whether it's the executive board, whether it's the athletes, whether it's the trainers. It means all of us have a key role to play. It's not limited to one person to achieve the ultimate goal, which is to represent the country and get the medal.
Now, when you look at the time clocked by these athletes, how close are they to qualifying? Of course, the summer games are a bit far. We have when do we have the Para Africa Games?
End of August, beginning of September.
And end of August, beginning of October.
I mean September.
Beginning of September. Yes. When you look at the time registered by these athletes in the current Grand Prix, how happy are you with the time recorded?
You see, from the onset, if I come in there, you see, as the SG said, we have 3 slots.
Yeah.
So it's key that we improve on those slots. So which means that our first ultimate goal is the Grand Prix or the World Championships in Kobe, Japan.
Yeah. But
however, the qualification for para is different from what you have, for example, to the Olympic Games. So which means that now for you to qualify in Kobe like this, the guys that qualified in Paris last year, the World Championships, the qualification criteria was they had to end in the top 4. So your 3 medalists now automatically got those slots because they were in the top 4. So in terms of Kobe, they have to end now in the top 2.
Wow.
So which means that we have to work harder. But you are encouraged by performances like you just rightfully said, by what Kinda has done, what Denzel Namena has done, and what Karuli continues to do, Bradley, all of them are on a pathway. So our ultimate goal is it's to ensure that comes May, that they are in the best shape that they can be. So we would not panic about anything in February. For us it's just to continue working and make sure that they are healthy and in the best shape. So we have had and also a discussion between the coaches arm and the executive board to see how best we are. So which means that everybody is bringing their part. So for us, from now to the Para Games is about 7 months, but not all of us has got 7 months.
Yes.
We need to. Kobe is that ultimate goal for us to see whether we can get number 1, the first slot. So there are slots that are also based on performances. So if Kinda's performance put him now in number 1 on the world, then he's moving in the right direction. But you have to compete in IPC sanctioned events. That's why the SG said Marrakesh, which is then key. It's a Grand Prix in Morocco, and then going to the World Champs. So those are the things that we are eyeing as a country. Maybe the SG can just add.
Yeah, SG. You want to add on? Well, you just mentioned the key events that are sanctioned by the International Paralympic Committee that your committee is eyeing on. But before touching on that one, I see Johannes Nabala is also listed here, but I do not see Ananias Chikongo. Of course, we have mentioned Lakia, also one of the other athletes who have already booked a place at the Summer Games. Coach, talk to us. The program, of course, we know since 2023 that these 3 players have already qualified. Take us through their programs to ensure the fitness level and to
I mean, if you go back to the Grand Prix of Swakopmund, you would have seen that Ananias competed there. So this past weekend, because of he had a little niggle, so we decided not to risk it. So they would not always be competing every competition. Like Ananias, Lahia, and Johnny would not be competing tomorrow in Witfontein. So it's not necessarily, because you have to balance a few things. You have to see, but we are not looking at only 3 people.
Yes,
so
yes.
Have,
no, what I'm saying is that these 3 have already qualified. Of course, obviously, them having qualified should be a priority area.
Yeah, as I said, the priority remains getting more slots at this moment of time. So para sports have made that commitment that we want to see, and of course, because of them, including Joanna. And those guys are seasoned athletes in para sports.
Yes.
So they also have a role to motivate the little Lahia that is still a junior, and that is done well when she went to the World Championships last year, which was her first. So which means that all of us, because para sports we have, as Parasports, has also made the commitment that as much as we compete in the sports is to ensure that Parasports develops in the right direction, because the motto that we have taken is the road to Los Angeles, which is 2028 via Paris. So even those that don't make it to Paris Paralympic Games, we are going, because you all also know that Johnny became 33 yesterday. Ananias is not of the youngest. Joanna is not of the youngest people anymore. So it's the transition is very, very key for us to make sure that we don't go and be absent from the Paralympic Games for a long time. That's why Parasport is now also gunning to have the other coach for the other coach to be on top. So which means that the program is holistic at this moment. Many of them they would be in training camps. Our first training camp is imminent, where all of them would be, so that we can help them all holistically and see what assistance we can give to them. Of course, there are also partners that are doing that are assisting Parasport in a good thing. You know, you have the dome that is now taking care of Chris Kinder and Bradley Murere.
Yes.
Then you also have Run Along Foundation in Oshakati. Of course, the SG has got Namib Lions that is there.
Yeah.
And then we have NAS Belvicha 77 Athletics Club. So which means that all of those components is to find the harmony in all of that, but to ensure that no one is left behind and everybody is given that. So they are in, of course, they are a bit on a different program in terms of where they are at this moment, because they unfortunately, even if they come 1-2 in COVID, they cannot get an extra slot for the country. But it is also it is important for them to go there and compete, because that helps them in preparation for 2024. So all of them, we're training them that way. But now we earmark the Grand Prix here, Oshakati Grand Prix, that is coming in the beginning of March.
Yeah.
And then, of course, then we'll have a training camp. And then from there we see how we take on the Botswana Grand Prix, including the Frank Fredericks Sprint Challenge that will also come this year. So in all of those things, we will be very competitive.
Yeah.
So you will see them. Sometimes you won't see them. So because their health is very important at this moment of time.
Now, of course, we've done very well at the Rio de Janeiro Paralympics, coming home with 2 silver and 2 gold medals. What is the objective? You know, going into the Paralympic Games. What is it that the IPC has put in place?
Yeah, no.
In terms of the objective, Secretary, maybe you can come in there. What is it? Of course, we have already two silver and 2 gold medals in from Brazil. What is it this time around? Of course, 3 slots already. The coach says there are more. We're not just looking at the 3; we're looking at adding more.
No, John, it's a very, very good question. Definitely, the NPC's main objective, especially for each participation of the Paralympic Games, is not just to participate, but to make sure that definitely we are competitive.
Yeah, and of course, the coach reiterated that compete.
Yeah, and that we also maintain the standard that have been done for the past, few Olympic. If you see, for the past few Paralympic Games, Paralympic athletes really made this country very proud. They always, go out there, and if we check the statistic, it will show how they have performed, and they made sure that at least since 2008, there is a medal back home here. So there haven't been any medal drought for the game for until that time. But now, as we're saying, for Paris, definitely, we that is our main objective, is to make sure that at least we get 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 medals. But that also depends, and it comes, we also, with different, things behind the team, how we are preparing, how how serious are we taking this for this athlete really to have the environment to be able to be getting this medal? Because you cannot just be talking about medal, but then you are not producing or creating an environment to make sure that these athletes are well taken care, especially talking about their health-wise, nutritious-wise, and then definitely the training component of it. So, and out there when we are competing, and this is what I like to retaliate, it's not that Namibia, when it goes there, we probably go only compete against South Africa or against Zambia or some. This is the Paralympic game. It's the world, the best of the crop. And these are well-funded, teams. We're talking about, teams like USA, team like Britain, Germany. Those are massive, and these guys, you are talking about an 8-year plan where they are working already with their athletes. But for us, we have seen that we can do it. We have athletes, we have talents that can do it. But the only thing is, we just have to make sure that they are really well prepared. We have a well plan that will work, and we want everybody involved, not only from one side. We say this is government, corporate world, athletes, the management, the coaches, everybody. We have to, because as you say, August, September, it's far, but it's not far.
Now, coach, when the secretary says well prepared, make sure that these athletes are 100% or 110 prepared. What exactly is it that we mean for a layman on the street?
You see, it's as the SG correctly said, that you go and you compete against, and Namibia has done well with its limited resources. Whether it's by choice or by will or whatever, I always say, let's start working if we are dreaming about the Ferrari, and then the other pieces will come on board. So which means that our mandate, first of all, on the previous, our mandate is clear. You always want to do better than you did the last time. So the standards have been set as the best Paralympic Games in 2016. So it will be forever be to improve on those results. But however, certain things must fall into place. Understand? So athletes train in different environments. I just said previously that. For example, the athletes that are under the program at the Dome ensures that they get the right food. They get the best training that there is. But that's not the same now for all the other athletes that are there, and that's why the SG was saying that to put them in an environment that is conducive for an athlete not to come and say, "Oh, coach, I'm hungry today," or not to have the transport from where they are to get to their training field. Or, for example, if you have somebody that stays in a town that doesn't have a synthetic track, when it rains now, then it means that the poor person can't go and run. So it is all of those challenges that we see. So for me, I want to have an athlete that is at the field, that is healthy, that is well taken, that is well nourished, and that will be able to perform the best during every training session. But however, you also see that some of the athletes, like Lahia, is currently a student at the university. So she's studying. She will be she's studying into your media industry. So maybe you can give her internship sometime and work with her. So she is now studying to become a media. It's studying into media. So we want to see them succeeding in all of that. But however, to find the right balance to see that they succeed in life and all of these things are all in place. So for me, it's to see, because success, it doesn't only depend on me. I put up the program, I'm there on the field, but I need a masseur, I need a physiotherapist, I need a psychologist, I need somebody that gives them the food, I need somebody that will drive them to and from training. So there are many things for us to succeed. But however, with the limited that we have, government has been bringing its part. Manpower has always been bringing its part. and other people in society. But it can be better because at this moment it's not yet conducive for these athletes to perform.
At this moment, not yet conducive. As the IPC, what is it that you are willing to avail to these athletes to be very comfortable, or at least comfortable in your preparation, in your training, in your participation in the qualifying events? What is it that the IPC is doing to ensure their comfort? Coach talk of physiotherapists, talk of other key elements that to ensure that there's the comfort given to the athletes.
Yeah, no, thank you very much, John. I think the best way now, as we say, going forward, is now looking on the plan what we have. And as I say, as Coach mentioned earlier, we also had a plan, a sit down with the other coaches so that we can just have everybody together in one platform. Then, and the good thing is it look somehow very positive and looking on things the way we are going with our engagement already from the beginning, especially with government and then our main partner, Nampower.
Yeah.
So financially, I think maybe this year it will be a bit better, so to say, but hoping we work now our plan and we just execute it the way we have discussed it with all the other coaches. I think the plan, we all agree that it was in the best interest of all the athletes. So hopefully just that we have to just push for this as an NPC now to make sure at least this plan become a reality, and that the athletes, as soon as possible, they start already working towards, with this plan towards now the game in September, Paris 2024. So the groundwork have been done. So it's just for us now to really make sure now we push so that this plan is now executed, is really put on table, and to make sure we follow it according to it. And then definitely, as I say, it looked positive to have all those partner government coming aboard also, and Nampower coming aboard. So that really, because usually, if you saw when I usually come in your studio every time here, I'll come with an angry face and everything because the finance have been always the biggest, and even for our treasure guys who've been doing so much for the country. But to see these things coming together like this now, I think it's just for us to put the plan together and really as an NPC just push it to make sure we push it for the benefit of this athlete. And just to be honest in pushing it, that we make sure that at least these guys and with their supporting team, that they really have the best environment. Because we have seen it even from the past competition, that if we create that environment, it helps you.
Now, the NPC board had a meeting the past weekend.
The NPC coaches and the
coaches.
Yeah.
What were some of the key decisions taken? Just one or two or three?
No, basically it was just the pathway from here. How are we moving? Yeah, and then definitely the different challenges of the different athletes who are top ranked, and what should we do with them? And then the mainly the main plan of all the athletes now going from, let's say, end of March or big after the Grand Prix in Oshakati, what is now the way forward? If they can all go in one camp, if we all coaches agree that we can have all the athletes in one camp, because sometimes it can also bring issues if you don't discuss, because our athletes come from all over the country. So to come, with this agreement and to come and sit and talk about this, I think it's just helping for the movement.
Well, the setup with the NPC, the issue of coaches. Of course, you have athletes from different athletic clubs, as far as Ogundiva, Swakopmund, and elsewhere. But when it comes to a national team, you then select like an age-specific coach for the national team, like a team that will go to let's say for example the
Paris.
The Paris.
Yeah, no. Usually, what NPC does is we appoint coaches for different competitions.
For the different competitions. Yeah.
So sometimes all the different competitions are not the same. Some competitions are short term, some are a longer term. So we appoint on that accordance, and that is how. So once we are appointing, like say for the bigger competition, let's say the Olympic or the World Championship, definitely having in mind that we have to have one national coach just to guide, because definitely all the athletes, they have to be selected also by merit to come from different region. And sometimes you get an athlete who never even did sport, but he has the talent and he can show it even within a competition, and he's not been coached by anybody. So definitely to bring him in the system as an NPC, we need to have him somewhere where he can be guided very well. And that it have to be an understanding also within all the coaches around the country.
Coach Letu, talk to me about your impression with your athletes. Starting off with the first Grand Prix, the second Grand Prix, now getting up for the third one, scheduled for it for day tomorrow.
Yeah, of course. Just also to add to what the SG said, parasport is a very expensive sport. We, for example, have two talented athletes, or let me say three talented athletes. We have a lot, but let me, if I zoom in on this three, for example, we have Rudley and Nico that are in the wheelchairs. Now, for those guys to have a chance in the world, they are competing against somebody that has got a $300,000 bike that they are riding in. So if they don't get the right bikes, it's difficult for them to compete, because those guys, it's like going to Formula One with my Golf or with my Toyota Bucky from the farm. They stand no chance. So which means that those guys, if they don't get the right investment, so the NNPC has got a tough task at hand for them to create and to have the right equipment for that. Roy is now swimming. We've been trying to in the triathlon, so he must get a leg, he must get the right bike, he must get all of those things. So the right bikes, if you want to go to the best competition, it's an expensive venture. So which means that just looking at equipment is already you are looking already in the areas of just 5 million to just get the teams competing with the other set athletes to just have the right equipment. So which means that, but we remain adamant and confident, and we also learn every year from doing things. That's why we now have a platform for all coaches. That even if I am being told that I'm the head coach, it doesn't mean that everybody plays equally the same role. So nobody is an assistant to the other one. We all have a role to play equally well, and the meeting went quite well because everybody has showed their commitment to work together, and that is healthy. Because if I go with an athlete, or if the next coach goes with an athlete, and because they work daily with that athlete, then it means that they can only advise best how to best deal with the specific scenario. And in terms of where the athletes are, as I said, I'm very encouraged at this moment. The number one thing is to see that they are healthy. So if there is no niggles and they are healthy, then it means that we are already we as a technical team are already happy. So they are showing that. But the most important thing is for us to ensure that they are able to show even better when it comes to the World Championships and in Marrakesh. So the journey continues. So we will step up. So we should see a lot of improvement coming to the Grand Prix in Oshakati. I hope Desert Radio will also be there.
Hopefully. Oh yes. Just briefly before we run off, how many athletes are taking part in the third leg Grand Prix scheduled tomorrow in Rietfontein?
You mean in terms of para?
Yes, in terms of para, yes.
Okay. When it comes to the Grand Prix, the athletes are entered by their clubs and their coaches and whatever. So, but however, Paralympic has got 6 races that are sanctioned in Namibia. Sanctioned meaning that their results are taken, are sent to the IPC, and then they are taken for official ranking. So those competitions are now the Grand Prix that we had in Swakop, the one in Windhoek, There is the National Championships, the Oshakati Grand Prix, and the Commerce Championships, and the Frank Federer's Sprint Challenge. So, which means that those 6 competitions. So we will, in terms of ranking wise, we want to see them in Oshakati. So tomorrow, it's when they are there, and if the coaches deem it fit for them to get there. But Para makes it key to see that all of them on the list will get to Oshakati. But Rietfontein, because it's not an official exempted one, that is now at whether the club decides to send them or not.
Mr. Secretary, your final words. Of course, you'll be leaving to you'll be traveling in the next 2 hours to read for day.
Yeah, no, John, thank you very much for this opportunity and for us also just to come and share with the nation what is happening. But as I just wanted to reiterate one important aspect that the coach also mentioned is that the parasport is really a very expensive movement. I mean, a very expensive, just for the equipment, especially for these para athletes. It's so expensive, but it's a need. It's not that something is expensive that is not needed. It's like a lift needed to be on the 7th floor. So it's a need for this. These are our citizens. So definitely when we are approaching corporate world, sponsorship and everything, we'll be come up with these, prices that look a bit, you'll be watching this quotation of a wheelchair, which can come up to 14,000 US. And you'll be like, this is almost a car. And this guy will just be using this wheelchair for his hands. But that is how he needs this. And also for him to be able to compete against each other people, he needs this equipment. And the equipment are changing every year, unfortunately. And for the sport equipment, they are just damn too expensive. So I don't know. This is just a thing I'm giving out there to the nation so that they are aware. Even whoever wants to come in, who is ever interested in partnering with us in the future, they should be aware that this is one of the biggest need, and we are working on it. And hopefully, going forward, definitely we'll have diversity of athletes coming in from left and right with those beautiful equipment.
Coach, your final words?
Yeah, of course. Thank you for this opportunity. Preparations are in full swing. We need the support of the nation because that's important for the athletes to feel that love from the nation. Just like we rallied against the Brave Warriors, we need to rally against all the other coaches, whether Olympic or Paralympic. We have our boxers that just went out, and so on and so forth. So, which means that the first thing before we talk about all this equipment and getting where and getting what, if we feel loved, then it means that we are halfway there. Parasports remain open to partner with those that are interested in that and in different that, so they can contact the office and there's the Secretary General with the heartbeat of the organization. So which means that for us it's just to go to the field and do the work, and they put the rest in place. When we are not happy, we jump on them for that. But we will do everything in our endeavors to ensure that our nation remains proud of our ambassadors that will go out there. And before we go, we will also come and knock so that we can say and just talk to the nation. So maybe hopefully sometimes we can have a phone in order to answer all those questions that people know what it's all about.
Para athletes, coach, national coach, that is Letu Hamhola. Thank you so much for joining us all the way from Rietfontein. He has not relocated to Rietfontein. He's just in Rietfontein for a specific purpose. He will be back on Sunday. Secretary General of the Namibia Paralympic Committee, thank you so much. And we've come to the end of our edition. Join us next week, Friday, when we bring you yet another episode of The Ring.